I'm Rue Tippin. I am the sound designer and recording engineer for this show.
I'm Henry Hetz. I play Jervis Pendleton.
I'm Sophia Mobbs, and I play Jerusha.
And I'm Adam Blais, and I'm the director. I was just going to say that for me it has nothing to do with the number of actors, which is sometimes tricky, but for me it all was about the premise of how do you keep a 2-hour show moving. Where really, on paper, the only thing that the characters have to do is write to each other. And it's determining that you clearly can't put that on stage for 2 hours.
No.
And we don't.
Like and we don't. There's very little writing in the show, actually.
So the challenge would be, during a 2-hour show, you're both going to be a huge chunk of that, instead of like if it were spread out over a larger cast.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, it's challenging until you started to get the rhythm of it, and once you start to get the rhythm and you connect the hardest part for me a lot of the time too was connecting the thoughts, and once I connected everything, it kind of
letter to letter.
Yeah, letter to letter. It started to come together, and all 4 years, okay, so this is what I do this year, this year, and after that,
I think the more challenging aspect of this play is written in that we don't really interact with each other, except for brief moments. Until the very end, when there's an actual scene, albeit small, that happens between us.
Because you can't really play off one another.
No, you have to kind of be listening, but also you can't hear everything that the other person's doing. It is strange. It's bizarre. You're speaking for each other's perspectives too in the letters.
Well, you do that. I don't. But honestly, it was harder in rehearsals to not be looking at him to figure out how I say certain things. But once we got out into an audience, the audience, as we've done the show more, I've noticed has become part of the show for me. Cause and a lot of they interact, they look, they're with me. It's kind of like when you talk to yourself, except there's someone else out there, and that's been that's been cool. That's been nice to discover.
Yeah, missing scene partner, that audience.
Well, I was gonna say it's interesting because the director kind of gives us the director in the director's note. That's what I meant to say. The playwright actually kind of gives us, I guess, that clue, and I guess we never realized that it's more than a director's note. Is he says that, hey, P.S., when you're speaking, you should be speaking to the audience because the audience is the letter writer. Or the person that the letter is being written to, depending on. And I think when we were in the rehearsal room, it was just we have to include the audience.
Right.
But we didn't.
But we didn't. I don't think we never even had a conversation about since Henry or Sophia isn't there to play opposite, who then has to take that responsibility? I guess it's the audience in this case.
Right.
Sorry, audience. Your work cut out for you.
I've never done any show where I've spoken to the audience the entire time. So it's so I've found a sort of comfort in performing in front of people and knowing that they're people watching, and it's easier to bring myself to the piece. I'm not scared that people are gonna watch me sing or something like that. It's I'm sharing. It feels like I'm sharing a moment with people, and that's something that I've really enjoyed with this musical in particular, that I've really liked, and I think that will help me also with my other work, bringing it's so much easier to bring myself to other pieces, and also when we do finally get to look at each other, that connection I feel is so much stronger, and it's remembering not only to connect with your audience but also your castmates. It's nice. Good things.
Yeah, for me it's the integration of the book and the score and the show. I've done the musicals where you're great, the objective is to get to the next dance number. That's where we're heading. That's where we're going. And for this one, it's nice that to me, I'm it's a play. It's a play. We just so happen to sing every once in a while. and maybe a lot.
Maybe a lot.
But
a lot.
but in my mind, it's always been to approach it as a play and never to really think of it as a musical.
Oldest Orphan.
What?
Opening
You're
number.
lying.
Because it's the opening number, and it was the first one we recorded, and we recorded it a few times, and I got to set everything to it, and it basically set the tone for the entire show.
Okay, I see that. I see that.
Things I didn't know, and well, I couldn't know you less.
That's my favorite.
Yeah, I couldn't know you less as a
I like it.
out of nowhere, very fun ballad that is, especially once the guitar comes in, that drive really is, it's great. I love it.
And it's perfectly placed. Like that's my answer because it says. It follows that typical musical theater. Oh, we can't talk anymore, so we have to sing. Like we're too hyped. But it comes right out of that frustrating letter, which we're not going to talk about because I don't want to spoil it. And then it propels into like this beautiful. But you couldn't do that song in dialogue or even in monologue form, I don't think.
No.
Which I think is why I like it so much. Like
Yeah.
it perfectly. It has to be a song.
Yeah.
For me, it's because I'm anticipating that there are very few people who are coming to see the show who have seen it before or
Yeah.
are familiar with it.
Yeah.
And my hope is that it encourages theater goers to like take chances on musicals that don't have big, flashy, well-known titles or
Big dance numbers.
or aren't necessarily like the the next big hit. Because I think there's a lot of like really beautiful, just more intimate shows out there that have incredible scores and great books and that need a little more love.
Yeah.
A couple of in The Secret of Happiness, the lyrics I've discovered, The Secret of Happiness is not to run too fast, not to mourn the past, a few others.
Many
5
others.
others.
Let's not confuse them.
Yeah,
for
like-
what they all repeat.
But I think that message of just like take a breath and be where you are right now is a good one to take away. I would love for people to take that away. Oh, what is that line?
Oh, you're talking about the hat?
No, the line Jerusha has where she says, anyone can.
Oh yeah, but leading up to the Secret of Happiness.
Yes.
What is it?
That anyone can rise to a crisis and face a tragedy with courage, but to face the petty hazards of the day with a smile.
Right.
I think that takes real spirit.
I want that to be taken away.
Yeah.
That's a big one. Yeah.
I love that.
I'm Rue Tippin.
I'm Henry Hetz.
Sophia Mobbs.
And I'm Adam Blais.
And come see Daddy Longlegs at Theater at Monmouth.